TNT Sports welcomes you to Bristol Motor Speedway today for qualifying for tonight's Sharpie 500. Just after 3 p.m. and FY, we are in a hurry up. So, because there is a pretty big storm cell that is slated to move through this Bristol area. But it should be clear by the time the race will start. Hi, everyone. I'm with Benny Parsons. I'm Alan Bestwick, and while he's currently on assignment right now, he's just finishing up Wally's World, presented by Chevrolet, a few moments ago. So with this new tire and the possibility of them using PJ1 and it being a 2-lane racetrack again, do you think we're going to see a lot of side-by people using both grooves? That without a doubt, Alan. Last time we did this, it was Michigan. It was a very clear that it was a 2-lane. It was Richmond. It was very clear it was a 2-lane racetrack. However, it was wide. And now it's going to be a 2-lane racetrack. If you get put in the middle, you're going to go backwards. I mean, what we saw Thursday night was more of the same. Granted, people in the top lane had a lot more trouble getting off the corner. As you saw in the Thursday night session, the 21 spun the car and hit the wall. Coming off 4, same thing happened to Sunday's to Sebring winner Caleb Hoffman, except he was able to keep it out of the wall. And speaking of Caleb Hoffman, he is the hometown kid. He would love to get a win tonight at Bristol, win later tonight, and what better way to start it off with a pole? Just a little past 3 p.m. here on the East Coast locally. And the time starts right now with all the Gibbs cars going out first, including the 78. A lot of these guys are probably just going to be playing around with the track and running either high or low. Now it looks like everybody is going to be coming out shortly. And the problem is, with more and more of these cars coming out, that may lead to a possibility of this track being very crowded. Nice thing about this is 20 minutes. There's plenty of time to lay some laps down. There's 6 cars stationed at the end of pit lane. Well, 7. The 5 is rolling up to that group now. Remember, there are 2 rounds today, obviously, due to since this is a 1-mile racetrack. And of these drivers, currently the 18 did take time. All of these cars have taken time. There's pretty much a line of these guys, more cars. Now there's 12 waiting in pit road. Now there's just 8. Because there's 4 drivers that are on the apron now. And how about this? Hunter is zoning, looking for him to be a strong contender later tonight when we get the green. Obviously, because of he actually brought the same car that he won Bowman Gray back in April. So he brought the same car tonight. See the 18 taking currently the now the everybody's saying of the drivers that have taken time, 41 is currently the quickest as we look at our Credit One Fast 5, followed by the 18, the 20, the 14, and hometown kid Caleb Hoffman, who is fifth as of right now of the 15 cars that have taken time. Then there's Jacob Tube, WB Network, Sports Center Cup Series of the cars that have taken time. There are several in the garage that have not. Obviously, it's going to be a pretty tight group to get into the top 12, and we almost had a wreck coming on the backstretch with a. I see that 4 was on his second lap. He was 11th quickest. As the cars were blending up, that was almost big right there. Between the 43 and the 4. And the 19 was down, the 16 was down the apron. He was not part of this. And they finished their laps, and then this happened. That right there is just unnecessary. I mean, you're in qualifying. You're doing all you can to get yourself a good time, but both these guys could technically be at fault. The 4 obviously was just showing how he felt about the 43. Probably should have waited on the apron more, but I think the 3 was just trying to push him up. But that could have been a much bigger situation. The 4 was ironically on his third lap. That obviously ruined it. So he's going to be going yet again. Now I see more cars. About 6 more. And there's cars on the back pit. Since Bristol is one of only 2, is probably the only track on the circuit with this unique design. And how about this? Third for the 4. Coming to the line. Now coming back to the drivers coming to the green. Of those 6, there are 13 that have not taken time yet. The 22 did, but obviously her lap was ruined, and she had to come back down. You can see a lot of the difference in lines. The 2, it seems like the top is faster, obviously with the new Bristol, but also the bottom, if you can get your car hooked up, it's also pretty fast as well. Bill Weber's down in pit road with Dylan Murway. You had some good laps, and the 43 came up and kind of got you there. Wow. Can you discuss what happened? Oh, my God. I was having a good lap the next time. I think the 40 was getting ready to enter the bottom. The 43 just was right there. We don't have much damage, just maybe some scrape, just maybe a slight tire scrape. Our crew is obviously looking at it right now. Um, so I really hate it for that it had to come to that. But honestly, you can't fix idiots. But at the same time, you kind of have to be kind of on a swivel at these when you qualify on these tracks because you can really ruin somebody's day. And I could have ran into him and junked all of us right there. But amazingly, we had a good lap. So hopefully, if things hold out the way they are, we should be able to make it to round 2. So, anyways, the 88 has taken the green. Now you got more cars coming onto the track. Luckily, the other group, the 5, 83, 21, and 1, all of them have taken time. And of those 4, the 5 was the quickest. He was 8th quickest. The 83 was the slowest. And the 21 slides in 9th. And the 1 of Grace Nalsevdo, obviously coming off his win at Chicagoland a couple races ago. Surprise win, too. So he's going to go for it. He was 13th first time. Going for another one. The 88 has taken 12th. And the 2 with a blazing lap is up to second, I believe. Robert Smith, he was strong on another short track. Back in Richmond earlier this year, he was also strong in the July race at Richmond. You can see the the 1. There's 8 cars down on pit road. So we got more cars coming onto the racetrack. Looks like all 8, I believe, are trying to get on the track. The 27 has taken time. Zox Moon. Anyways, 27 Menards Cup Series is slots in 16th. Zox Moon goes to the top. Nate Sherman coming back out. And got an incident front stretch. Big wreck on the front stretch. Again, the 56 came up. The 1 is coming up. The 1 checked up. Now we got cars, about 3 of them. 7 to Chris Washer is also involved. The 56. Yellow's out. Stop the clock. What happened here? Nate Sherman is being told to drive back down pit road while they clean this accident up. Now we got a lot of cars all over about 3 cars. This is definitely a big wreck. We are going to stop the clock with just under 7 minutes to go in this segment. See Chris Washer driving his car down pit road. He was initially going to be 22nd quickest on the clock. Blake Dillon, he finished his lap. They're using his time as 19th quickest. And then Grace Nalsevdo, tough break for him. And he does not look happy. like a 3-car deal. And as the 56 came up, 56 was trying to blend in the line. I don't think the one saw him. The one tried threading the needle, got into the 56. And then everybody else saw this accident. Several of them started checking up. I think there's a couple more cars got damaged as well. The 17 was trying to slow, coming to this caution. 33 gets slowed up and finds a way to get by somehow. Then I think the 17 checked up. Then he gets hit from behind. So now we got more cars in this accident. Keep in mind, these drivers did not take time. So now there's a 5-car incident on the front stretch. That was just ugly right there. Because for some reason, 17 stopped. Then he got hit in the back by the 31. As you see now we're watching this again. These are cars coming out of turn 4. Just looking at this list, there's a lot of cars that we know of at the moment that may be going to backup cars. Grace, of this little group, the one of Grayson Alcevdo, and the one, he was the quickest of these 7 cars that are on track that we were focusing on. The 56, I believe he was trying to get his tires up, and then the one tried pulling the same move he did down in Chicagoland on that restart. Only difference, the 7 was right there. And bam. And then now everybody's crashing on the front stretch. Then the 1 gets into the wall, hits the wall pretty good. And then the 33 slows up in time to make it. Now, I'm curious to see how the 17 and 31 got into it. Then the 33 just barely gets by. Then the 17 checks up because he was thinking he was going to run into it. So he checks up. 31 runs into the back of him. So now that we know of, there are 5 cars that are damaged. This is definitely probably one of the biggest, the second biggest wreck that we've seen in the knockout qualifying sessions. The teams that we know of that will go to backups are the 31, obviously. He punched a hole in his radiator, trying to miss it, and running into this 17 is the Roush cars. Peyton Beasley was just about to take time, so see him and Nate Sherman are waiting simultaneously down on the front stretch. That's the problem with this short track qualifying. We're going to have this issue at Bowman Gray here later this year in the Chase, because it's a quarter-mile racetrack and you're trying to fit 34 cars on there. So instead of this being a half mile, because at least there's obviously the wide apron to try to miss it. Don't understand why the 31 didn't try to go under the 17, but we know of that the 17 is probably going to be starting at the back for this race. They're currently working on the back end of his car, pulling it, fixing the back end. Grayson Alcevdo is rolling out his backup car. He hit the wall. Jessica Shelton in the 56 is rolling out a backup. Chris Washington the 7. So 4 cars are rolling out backups. The 17, obviously, he didn't take time, but at this point, I don't think it's going to matter with 7 minutes left. They're going to have to do quite a bit of work since he got hit pretty square. They're going to have to do quite a bit of work to the back end of that car. 5-car crash here in qualifying at Bristol. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
It's up to Homer Simpson and family to save the world from a diabolical plot as they run and drive to unravel the conspiracy. Critics call it the best Simpsons game ever. Get the log, dudes. The Simpsons Hit and Run, rated T for T. I am evil Homer.
And I play Mia in Need for Speed Most Wanted. Make sure you do all your racing in the game. On the streets, drive safely and responsibly, and wear your seatbelt.
Chevy Impala SS, an American Revolution.
Today's broadcast of Sharpie 500 qualifying from Bristol is brought to you by The Simpsons Hit and Run. Save Springfield by car, by foot, and by the seat of your pants. Available this fall. And by Need for Speed Most Wanted. Drive the most wanted cars and climb your way to the top of the blacklist. Coming to my channel this November. By Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood. And by the new Chevrolet Impala SS. Chevy, find new roads. Timer is going to be resumed here with 7 minutes left. As you obviously, Grace Nelsebdo was not happy with Jessica Shelton just a few moments ago. Went over to have some pretty heated words with Jessica Shelton about the incident that took place on the front stretch. The situation was obviously quickly diffused, and already we got two drivers mad at each other, and we're not even racing. We haven't even and we aren't even racing yet, and we already got two drivers mad at each other. Yeah, I bet you that one car is probably going to be gunning for the 56 tonight. I tell you what. Or the 56 is going for the one car. This is going to be interesting. Now, Nate Sherman and Peyton Beasley did not take time, haven't taken time yet. Obviously, they wanted to improve their time on their second run, but obviously the crash happened and they couldn't. So they're going to go and make yet another run at and maybe improving their positions. Zoex Moon, she is quickest and saying bye with Kelly Stavist. Your Pennzoil Ford seems pretty fast. Can you tell us if you're going to be making another run in this session? I honestly don't know. Our Pennzoil Ford's price, we hit a pretty good kink. Obviously, we're going to want to get into the chase tonight. We're going to want to win for insurance, but if we can build up the points, that's fine too. But we're not here for points. We're here for wins, and this is a great place to start tonight. Is going for a win. Nate Sherman has taken the green flag. Now it looks like the 6 is lost a bit of time there off 2. Peyton Beasley much faster going into 3. He's using the top, which is what I've noticed. And the 6 is trying to experiment a lot with the bottom. Bottom. 6th for the 48. And Peyton Beasley slides into Nate Sherman's old spot. I think with now, what are you going to do here with the time we have left, with which it being 4 minutes? Would you make another run? If you're anybody around from 8th up, then no. Caleb Hoffman, obviously, he is getting ready, but remember, we don't want another wreck like we saw earlier on the front stretch. So, and almost saw between the 43 and the 4. The 5, the 21, the 78, obviously they're going to be trying to make their runs. They're getting ready to go now. And the 19 is going to be leading them. The 11 is not going to join them. I think a lot of these guys are going to be saving their stuff for tonight. Only reason we qualify so early in the day in race night so these drivers can pick their pit selections. Anyways, we just got an update from the garage on that last stint, that crash between that 5-car incident. Now, the question is, Alvin Alonso will be joining the other 4 drivers in this accident and getting a backup car because they're doing everything they can to repair the back end. They have the backup up out as a just in case. I see Caleb Hoffman leading this group. He will be carrying our 360 visor cam tonight. Homecoming race for him. I don't think, 24. He drove into the middle. Yeah, he lost a lot of time, but the rest of the guys are now on the bottom. Bottom. You left the bottom open. I mean, you can do that, but you're going to really lose a lot of time. The 5-car is even getting to him. You can see the concentration in his eyes, even in this qualifying session. A lot of these guys are going to have that focus tonight. They're going to have to if they want a good lap. And looks like if they want to be in contention to win tonight. Looks like the 19 is moved up to 2nd. The 24 is moved to 6th. The 5 is dropped to 3rd. Dropped. 21 is up to 8th, and the 78 is moved up to, wow, top of the charts for the 78. Great job, bud. Great job. Just bring the car. Bring it in. Great job. Good job. Come on, bring it down. And just like that, the time has stopped. And here are your 12 that move on. And here are the 22 that don't. Obviously, the 5 that were in that crash earlier, all of them will be starting at the back of this field. But Grayson Alcevedo, especially, tough break for him. He will be starting the back. He obviously won Chicagoland a couple weeks ago using the win in your in mentality. But a lot of the guys, such as Hunter Miller, Jonathan Morrison, Derek Lewis, Brendan Little, Peyton Beasley, a lot of the guys around that cut line gonna have a lot of work to do later tonight when we wave the green here on TNT. They have a lot of work. However, as we look at the 12 that have made it unsafe, Zox Moon, she's definitely at a good advantage. Xavier Sadreska, he's definitely a nice surprise in the top 12. He needs a win to get in tonight, obviously. If these races go to full-on survival attrition fests, then like Sebring did, he could, barring any major disasters, get into the chase on points. He's currently 18th, 39 back from 19th in points. He's 39 back from the leaders. Back here at Bristol in a few moments.
YouTube. Gimme. Caliburtman! I can do it.
Llévate el Burger King Big Kids Meal con los portadulces de la nueva película Shrek. Colecciona los 9. Cada uno guarda tus dulces Morris. El Burger King Big Kids Meal.
Okay, why did I find the Spanish version of this? Remind me, why did I find the Spanish version of this? All right. Yeah.
Attention swimmers. Or swimmer. Got some announcements to make here. Sundays at 10. It's all kids out of the pool for adult swim.
Kids decide to go swimming whenever you want.
That's when there'll be count 'em new shows. New shows. Oh, movies.
Who went wee-wee in my canteen?
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Look at my freaking car.
A brag show.
You fell. Your father and Rex were...
Harvey Bergen, attorney at law. G-Lab 2021.
You broke the monitor, and you're dead. Happy?
Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop. And Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
This is Willie Nelson.
No kids under 17, though. So that's new, too. Sunday at 10. Adult Swim. The Cartoon Network.
Welcome back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, qualifying for tonight's Sharpie 500 from Bristol Motor Speedway. Getting ready for round 2, which will be 10 minutes. And obviously, the quickest from round 1 was WB Network, but I'm sure the highlight that literally everybody will be talking about was obviously that crash on the front stretch that took 5 cars out, and obviously all 5 of those cars will be starting at the back, which frankly it's unusual because when we had knockout qualifying, wrecks would happen at these big wrecks would obviously happen at super speedways. So kind of odd to have that happen there. Anyways, quickest WB Network, he might be able to land the pole, but there are many other guys behind him that could steal it away. Dylan Murway said he has a fast car. Jacob Tube, Caleb Hoffman, the hometown kid, possibly steal a win away. He's never gone back-to-back wins in his career. I'm sure he'd love to get one tonight. So, yeah. Time to get these 10 minutes going now. And I think right now, as we speak, some of these guys are going to wait it out, but I'd go because 10 minutes isn't really a long time at Bristol. However, don't wait because these laps go by fast. The 4 beginning his run. He's getting onto the racetrack now. Looks like his two teammates are going to follow him. So is the 24, which, by the way, will become the 9 team next season. New name and a new sponsor for the 24 next year, which will become the 9. And what was once the 5 team will now become the 24 team. There were rumors that Robbie Loomis might come back, or Darian Grubb may come back to crew chief the new 24 team next year, because the 24 team is going to change to the 9 team. Jacob too. Remember, he has run the Exalta Liberty University colors. That obviously will go to the 24 team next year. So there's that too. Anyways, speaking of the 24, he did something last time we were here in April that I don't think a lot of people ever thought anybody could do. So the race was a 2-day deal, with the majority of the race being ran on Monday. Remember, he started second next to the 4. Obviously, that with how crazy things were in the Monday race, with Jacob 2 finishing 7th in mid. Lots of crashes, which is typical for these Bristol races, but they more happen during the fall event, the August event here. But obviously, he started second, got a tire on the start of the race, went 2 laps down, got both those laps back, and made his way from the back to the front. And look at this. It looks like they're racing each other. The 6 cars in front, they're just waiting things out. But it looks like the 19 looks like he's racing the 22. Don't get your stuff torn up too early, kid. Don't get your stuff torn up. Come on. Don't do that shit. Don't get your stuff torn up. With 6 minutes left, the 4 is currently the quickest. Remember, all 3 of these drivers are in the chase. All the Stewart-Haas drivers are in the playoffs as of right now. KFC Cup Series won Kansas. Dylan Murray won Indy and Boulder Valley. And Hunter Rizzoni, as we mentioned many times earlier, he won the race down in Bowman Gray, ironically holding off one of the best. This guy. Even after many bump and run attempts, which Caleb Hoffman did say that he will do if it comes down to it. It does not matter. It can be his teammate. It can be a close friend. If he's in second and somebody's leading and there's 2 laps to go, he's going to bump somebody. You need to have that kind of toughness at the short tracks in this series. You need to have that toughness. Doesn't matter if it's your teammate, if it's your best friend. If somebody's in front of you with 2 to go, you will bump them. Obviously, flashback to earlier this year, there were several times Caleb Hoffman tried getting to the bumper of the 8, the 41. He got there. He gave him a tap, but the 41 didn't get moved. And this was in the corner, too. And they were going pretty low speeds, so He tried one last time. Hunter Rizzoni pulled away just before he hit him, and you can kind of guess how that went. And speaking of Caleb Hoffman, look who just jumped to the top with a blistering lap. Up to the pole. Anyways, Caleb Hoffman is down in pit road with Bill Weber. Bill? Well, Caleb, nice lap there, bud. Nice lap there, bud. You're now quickest. What's going to be your approach tonight? Obviously, great. We landed some good track positions. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to do everything we can to stay out front and away from the trouble, because I know no traffic's going to be big early. So a good thing we're going to hopefully keep this front row spot so we don't have to pass and tear up all our stuff early. But obviously the lap traffic being a major issue and the top and bottom lanes, there may be the possibility that there's going to be some form of probably some incidents, and hopefully our Stanley Toyota isn't in any of them. Are there any thoughts on a potential payback between drivers tonight? It's a short track. Bent fenders, hurt feelings, love it. Jacob Tube has jumped to second with his lap. And it's like he's going for more. And with 2 minutes left, can you blame him? He wants that pole. Come on, get the pole. Let's go. Get the pole. You got him, bud. He's running kind of a unique lane. He's not on the bottom, but he's not on the top. He's sort of in the middle. He's riding around the bottom, but he's not directly on the bottom like we've seen a lot of guys do in qualifying so far. And speaking of the 24, look who's up top. I think these guys are probably just going to wait this session out. So you don't want to tear your stuff up too early. Obviously, the four crew, obviously, they are watching, see if they get anything torn up, any potential damage from the incident in round 1 with the 43. They said there is none. But obviously, you can't change tires. But if you need to, you can repair damage, which is what the 17 did. But in fact, they are still working right now in the garage. They're pulling the fender out, the bumper out, obviously from that earlier crash. Obviously, the 31 honestly didn't have nowhere to go but into him, which was kind of weird. So they pulled the fender out. They have surprisingly fixed it, as you see right now. But obviously, they have a new bumper piece on. They are putting Sunny D decals on it so they can go racing later tonight. Obviously, they will start from the 29th position. Obviously, due to getting caught in that accident late. So, in the meantime, congratulations to the 24 for winning yet another pole tonight. And with Caleb Hoffman starting alongside. Last time that happened was back in Vegas. And he is done. And who went to victory lane? Caleb Hoffman. Who's starting 1-2 tonight? These guys. Obviously, later on tonight on TNT, coverage of the pre-race show, the Credit One Bank pre-race show, sponsored by Sonic, will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then at 8:30, be coverage of the Sharpie 500 from Bristol Motor Speedway. And it looks like, just look to the skies, it's dark right now over Bristol, and there's actually some raindrops. So hopefully this storm can be cleared out before that. So hopefully we can clear this shower just as it has come over Bristol Motor Speedway. So hopefully we can get this race cleared up and get the race going on time tonight.